We'll go ahead and call the budget committee meeting to order. We do have a set of minutes for January the 9th.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions about it? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, is there anyone in here that would like to make public comment concerning something that's on the agenda? Yes, sir.
First, I'd like to apologize to the last committee. I thought that was a budget committee. But around the room, there should be just enough for every county commissioner to have one of these, and the mayor. And I think the county attorney already has one. Yeah, it's just got a little first page from TDEC, and it's highlighted. 6 months ago, I came here to inform you that some of the ARP money you gave the Water Authority of Wilson County in 2022 was wasted by delayed project starts. I identified poor leadership as the cause, and I'm here tonight with an update and to describe your role in solving this ongoing problem. Because of continuing performance failures, TDEC water quality regulators are closely watching the Water Authority. This week, they issued another notice of violation. The authority failed to meet deadlines to correct hazardous conditions on Ford and Shop Springs Road. In your packet, the bottom right has got a page number. If you look at page 1A, you'll see that notification was sent February 4th. It went to the chairman, and you can all read the third paragraph for yourself. Remember, the authority knew that these lines were hazardous as long ago as 2018. Last summer, I predicted a 40% loss in purchasing power of your grants. Unfortunately, my prediction is fairly accurate. With construction not even started, the Co-Lane Trailsdale Ferry project is 34% over budget. I predict about $2 million of the total $5 million grant will be wasted. Some of your constituents probably won't get the water service they were promised. Let me give you one more update. The chairman called a special meeting, the Water Authority chairman called a special meeting to condemn property supporting the Shop Springs project. He did not adequately notify the public of the purpose of that meeting. The authority did not present the site plan to the Planning Commission. The result is that your constituents were shut out of public comment on the condemnation and then denied public comment on the project design. It is the ultimate abuse of government power. I could cite more examples of malfeasance, but understand they all are just symptoms of a greater problem. The common problem is the deeply entrenched culture of non-accountability. This culture is created and fostered by the chairman. Even though the Water Authority is a public institution, it is being operated as a sole proprietorship. Look at page 2A now, please. You'll see that I sent a letter to the Water Authority asking to see the bylaws, rules of order, similar records addressing the conduct of the Water Authority meetings and governance of the authority. I got a reply. That's on your page 2B. The reply is there are no such records existing. The executive director wrote, I find no documents listing bylaws, rules of order, referencing your request. The documents are created on a case-by-case basis. The Water Authority is created by statute. Let me read that again. There are no bylaws, rules of order, and they operate on a case-by-case basis. I'll get back to the statute question in a minute. Though required by law and common sense, the authority chairman has not instituted bylaws or rules to govern it or guide its meetings. Nobody wants rules for the sake of having rules. Their purpose is to make governance efficient, effective, and fair. And for instance, look back at how Mayor Hutto handled that long and contentious I-40 and Linwood meeting. He used this booklet, it's here somewhere. He used this booklet to make sure that that was a fair and efficient meeting, and it was. I have the 12-page Hamilton County Water and Wastewater Utility Handbook and the 36-page Knox Utility Governance Booklet. Take a quick look at Hamilton County's. That's your page 3A. You'll see the following rules and following bylaws and rules of order were approved at that meeting, and is common. The Robert's Rules of Order is what's going to govern it. And see the next page, 3B, governing law. That is the statute referenced by the executive director. Both Hamilton County and Wilson County are governed by the same law. Let's take a quick look at what that law is. If you look at page 4, paragraph E1, it says the board shall adopt its own bylaws and rules of procedure. Hamilton and Knox are in compliance. In addition to promoting good governance, these documents are a valuable starting point for the next leader. Succession planning is part of forward thinking in an organization. In contrast, sole proprietorship is an easy way to start a business, but as the business grows and evolves, the organizational structure must keep pace. In context, Wilson County has grown and evolved, but the Water Authority's governance has not, and the results are predictable. This is why ARP projects are behind schedule. This is why the projects are over budget. The public is shut out of meetings, ethical lapses go unchecked, regulators are concerned, and millions of dollars are wasted. The county is fast growing, and the authority is too large and too important to continue this way. The question is, what can and what must you do to correct this? And I'll draw your attention back to page 4. See paragraph D, number 3. It says, a commissioner may be removed from office by a 2/3 vote of the governing body that approved the commissioner's appointment. So what I'm asking you tonight is to use your authority under this section to remove the Water Authority chairman. I suggest a simple majority vote can be passed at your March meeting to invoke that provision. This will require the authority chairman to come before you in April and address these issues. And I will provide you, and I'll provide him a list of serious problems, all described by public records. You can then make an informed decision whether it is in our county's best interest for him to continue in his 5th decade of service or be replaced by someone better suited to correct these deficiencies. Only you can bring accountability to this troubled yet indispensable part of Wilson County's future. I will take any question. And I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Finance Director's report.
Trustees' books weren't closed in time for us to get the finance report in there. There is a fund balance report from last month, so the finance report will be on your desk. I can tell you that things are looking exactly the way we would expect, versus budget, so okay with where we are. We have just a few budget amendments. The first one is WEMA, which is to request to transfer funds from GovBill's surplus sale for $3,551. Motion approved.
Second.
The second one is to request also,
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, I went too fast, I'm sorry. Okay.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any questions? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
Sorry about that, guys. Second one is a request to transfer funds from application and permit fees, Fund 118, just putting it into a spendable line, health equipment, $1,500. Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
And this one's
Budget Amendment 2025-08. First section is to record a budget for CCI. Yes, expenditures is actually a carryover from last year, required from our federal budget. GP pays it and the federal reimburses on that. Second one, we received a grant, TBEA, supporting that grant and expenditure line item. And then the last section there is just a request from our CTE department just to reallocate some of their budget to better use of what they need.
motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
I need to get the county attorney's opinion on something. Chad just, tapped me on the shoulder. EMA just took action to purchase a director's vehicle. However, that's not on our agenda, therefore, I don't think we can consider it tonight. So, but I will defer to the county attorney on that one.
Well, ordinarily, I would agree with you, and I may still agree with you, but Director Cooper spent a little bit of time at the EMA meeting, and basically, he's driving his own vehicle.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, that kind of qualifies as an emergency.
All right, I'm good with that.
Yeah, and also another factor is he's only getting $20,000, he's got 40-something of it already
the
in
money.
budget. But the fact he's driving his own vehicle, I mean, he ought not have to.
So I will prepare a budget amendment, but this is the gist of it, is there will be 20,000 taken from Fund 101 fund balance that will go into the vehicle purchase line for WEMA, and 21,000 will be taken out of WEMA's reserve account and also put into that line to give them enough money to purchase the vehicle.
I assume we need a motion to that effect.
You do. This is basically a budget amendment we're doing in the air.
Motion approved.
You're calling it an emergency.
Okay. We're still not through with education, so.
I'm so sorry.
But, you know, when we get to that one,
Aaron's got to
It-
say
she's still sitting there. We'll
you
let
gotta
her,
know.
we'll come back to her. So we have a motion. Is there a second?
There is a second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Aaron, you want to leave? or something?
I-
Some word,
I-
but-
hey, don't slow him down.
All right, the second one for
All right.
education.
Just a quick one. Budget Amendment 2025, SO9, we're just moving money from ed assistants to non-certified sub-teachers in our sped line item.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed?
Good. Lisa and I have worked so well together, and here I am running over the top of her. I'm
You sure are.
You wish to
I
do
was
this
gonna come back.
before you were- Okay, I'm gonna go here. No, we just
We
did
just
that.
did it.
Yeah.
No, we didn't vote on the first education. I made the motion, second.
We got that. Yes, we did.
You voted no.
Nobody says.
Okay,
Oh, sleepy.
JECDD. Come forward, please.
Good evening. Thank you for your time. Apologize for continuing to come back in front of you all, but I really don't, because that means that Wilson County is open for business, and that's a good thing. Different projects hit differently. Sometimes we have these big, exciting recruitment projects, and sometimes we have ones that come a little bit more full circle, but for all the right reasons. That's what we have here tonight. Been working with this. This is an existing company that's been operating in our community for a little over a decade in a leased facility. They are proposing to build and own and operate a new facility with some advanced equipment and to do an expansion on top of that. We've had time to spend a little time with this. This is a global company. They are in the mobility space, which these days means that they are, we're likely, and this company is a tier 1 automotive supplier, but transportation, how you move people around, it's not just automotive anymore, it's mobility. So they're involved in components for agricultural equipment, beginning to move into spaces and things that relate to aviation, as you know, drone possibilities and things like that come more online. Being a large company like they are, this is a competitive project. The company's been operational in the state of Tennessee since 1988. They have 5,000 employees across Tennessee, including our existing facility. So with that, they have options to co-locate this project with one of their existing Tennessee facilities. They also own a facility that is currently not operational, but own the building in Arkansas, which would be greater proximity to the western population, and then a large customer there's recently made a multi-billion-dollar investment in the state of North Carolina, and there is some pressure to locate near to that. Our proximity and the strengths of our logistics corridor here in Wilson County and the fact that they know our community, they're known by our community, are reasons that they want to explore continuing to keep the operation here and expand. So with that, they're proposing to construct a 300,000 square foot facility, climate controlled, with lots of new smart technology. Some of us got a chance to see operation similar to what this will be in another facility they operate in the state, where today they are piloting some of the robotics and advanced technology that enhance safety mechanisms and quality of life and quality of work experience for their employees. Most notably, they are really taking care of their people. So currently they're roughly 90-person existing Wilson County workforce is earning an average salary of $56,165. We've been working this project for a little bit, so that's a figure actually from August 2024. Fully loaded with benefits and everything, those compensation packages are about $82,500 annually. So what they've committed to with the state, who has backed this project, TVA, who has backed this project, they are proposing that the new hires, so 90 existing families that candidly would be displaced if this project went elsewhere, could they find a job doing something similar to what they do today in this market? Perhaps, maybe even likely. Could they find a job earning the wages that they're making with this company today? Highly, highly doubtful. So we're talking about 90 families there that would be displaced. They're proposing to add about 60 new jobs is what they've committed to with the expansion. Those positions are going to start out at $28.30 an hour, which is an average of $58,864 annually, plus benefits. That's the highest average annual salary, and I'm pleased that since I've been in this role, every project I brought you successively has had a higher average hourly wage than the one before it. So we're getting there, Tommy. So with the investment, they're proposing about a $64 million new investment in our community and really solidifying roots with an operation that they will own. A couple other things I'll just mention. Currently, this operation, they're doing about $775 million annually with this. They're hoping to grow that to $1.2 billion. And the thing that I think really speaks to the quality of employer is in 2024, their turnover rate at this facility, which has been low for several years, it went to 3.7%, which in their industry and in this labor market is really unheard of, right? So that speaks to a high employee satisfaction, and hopeful that we can retain this solidified existing workforce that they've built, add some new opportunities for some of our residents by supporting them. Based on the analysis that our office did of the parameters of the program that this body, the larger body community set up years ago, this project's kind of right on the 3-4 year pilot qualification. We're going conservative with this one, and we're sitting on the 3-year mark. So we're asking for approval for that. This was approved this morning unanimously by the Executive Committee of the Joint Economic Community Development Board. One other fun fact, this company invented the QR code. So I was talking with the Executive Committee this morning. They invented it to help them track products because they're so they're so dedicated to customer service and delivery. But they released it to the world. They don't get royalties off of it, QR codes came along, we're like, oh, these are cool, right? And then they were fatty and they died. And then we had a pandemic, right? And then they came back to life because we couldn't touch anything. But the last point I'll leave you with is since 1988, when this company put roots in Tennessee, they have never laid off a full-time associate out of a Tennessee operation. So to me, I think that's the kind of quality employer of choice that we're looking for, that really values their folks, that invests in them, that rapidly gets them to a place where they're earning a good wage if they're a good worker, and takes care of them. And so with that, I ask for your favorable consideration and approval.
I went along and visited this facility, and there's only one thing that I didn't like about them, they're clean freaks.
Yeah, they are. Hair nets and
I
everything.
had to wear a hairnet to go in the building.
We have pictures to prove.
Oh,
Okay, you've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion? Motion to approve. Is there a second?
second.
Yes, sir. Okay, any questions now or comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any? Mayor?
No, I got a quick question from Mr. Carter. Next time you come to us with this wage, I want you to bring us a stat. I want you to do something for me.
Mhm.
You take the top 10% off, you take the bottom 10% off,
Okay.
and re-average for us.
So I have the breakdown
No,
of, not by top and 10 gone. I'll work on
well,
that.
we voted on this
I
one,
know.
but in the future,
I do have wage tier info, right?
now, I want you to take the top 10 off, I want you to
Okay.
take the top 10 off, bottom 10,
To-
and then re-average.
To the best of my ability, I will try to do
That's
that.
what
I
I'm
don't
asking.
always get the entire, like, these are the full list of occupations. A lot of times I can get them in.
That's fine.
I do, and I will. So I will aspire to do that for you. I'll do the best that I can for you, okay? Appreciate it.
I'm trying to, let's see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is that my pen? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, let me speak to this. This wasn't on the agenda tonight,
I know.
but we discussed it this morning in the JCDB. And we talked with Corey about in the future what we need to do, but this company, we're told, is gonna make a decision in the morning. So that's the reason it's here tonight.
Two emergencies.
Yeah, it really is. And we're competing with North Carolina and Arkansas.
Yeah.
And so I would hate for it to not come out here tonight and then read about it and say that my own people here couldn't act on it, in our county. So we felt like it was an emergency.
Will we get called out on it on our rules?
Probably.
Well, we've already voted on it now, so I'll put in there about my comments.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, and is it?
And I think the other issue was that we advised with JCDB and Corey that going forward, and he was waiting for it to pass this morning's meeting to come here.
Right.
And that no matter whether we approve it or not, if it's coming to them, go ahead of time and put it on our board, our agenda. And even if it don't pass, then we'll just pull it off.
Take it off.
But, and he said he would do that going forward, so we don't have that issue no more, because
Sure.
he didn't have it here because of he hadn't passed that board yet.
Yeah, this would have been moot if it hadn't been received favorably this morning. And
In fact, this morning I was encouraging, bring it in March. And then he told me when the decision was gonna be made, and I thought, well, we gotta do it tonight.
they've actually delayed this for us and to give opportunity for us to be as educated and informed about the nature and the company itself as possible. So once we said we would be able to take this up today, they scheduled their internal decision meetings for tomorrow. So I know they'll be excited to receive this positive news. So thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Concerning the lifetime estate things, if you remember back when we first started with the multi-level court system, we had 9 properties in the back, and you guys said, hey, if we can get those properties, let's go get them. And we got them all except for 2, number 3 and number 9. Number 3 was a lady that, Miss Austin, that lives there, owns her home and everything, and so we worked out a deal with her, $225 lifetime estate. When she leaves or moves, or passes on, that property becomes theirs. We did a title, brought that to you before, you guys approved that. We didn't have on number 9, Ms. Deborah Hill, really wasn't interested in it in the beginning. But she decided later on that she would want to entertain that, so she came to me. I reached out to a couple of you guys or whatever, because I didn't know if we needed it or not. The voice that I heard was, yes, every property we could get would be good to clean all that up. So I met with her, and she would like to do that. She's willing to do the 225. I think the difference is, and my God, my bad for not going to public buildings, because I thought they had already said, hey, negotiate if you could, and then the prices will just come back in budget. But if I need to go to them, I'll do that
So
too.
we'll do it tonight of the county commission.
You don't have that opportunity.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
So the 225 is it. It's the same thing we have in this awesome. A couple of things I want to make you aware of that I think is important to have on record. Number one, she will be, her tenant is her brother, and so she will still be making some rent. We don't have that situation with the other one, so I wanted to see if that brought any heartburn to anybody, that she'd be making money off the house. And then the second thing is, we wanted to be sure that we put in the title restrictions that when he leaves, not the owner, but when he leaves, that property comes to us, which is more different. Other than that, that's the only two things that we came up with, we thought that was worthy to be brought to you. So if you want to give us permission to do that, the next thing we'll do is go to county commission on the 18th, and then we'll close after that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any questions, concerns, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I would like, before you probably will take care of that one, I would like to, and I have some things to add with these next two. I appreciate our audit that we got. I know some of you probably got that, but our finance department was clean, as well as our education was clean, and so those are good things. And so appreciate Aaron, his team, and everybody else for doing that as a positive. This one, bragging.
Question, can you speak on monthly findings? Sean?
The one I will leave for the sheriff's department, law enforcement, that's a report specific to them that we don't have anything to do with. And really, I'm not even allowed to respond to these findings anymore. Anytime they take a finding, there has to be a response. It used to be that I responded to every finding that basically happens across the county. Now, if it's not basically Office of the Finance Director, which a lot of stuff finds its way back to Office of Finance Director, but if it's not that, if it's the sheriff, or in this case, another office, we will have an audit committee meeting. They will discuss the findings at length, but they won't even talk to the mayor and I about it when we have an exit conference. We don't know anything more than you know. Okay, is basically, they told us they can't tell us if there's a finding on another office or not. They can't tell us. So we find out when the report gets published, just like you do.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, there's a resolution in your packet concerning sharing real estate transfer tax. Mayor, I'd prefer you go.
County Mayors Association had asked us to bring this to all of our counties in order to push this. They would love to get that revenue to where it would go back, a portion of it, or another larger portion of it, back to the county that it was created in. And so they're making a push for that, and if every county passed a resolution, that would help their cause. So that's what we brought here. I will give you two others that they're fighting for that are pretty, hopefully positive. Excess lottery fees coming back to the county to go towards K-12 capital projects, which is a positive thing if we could get that portion that comes from Wilson County. The second would be they may put a privilege tax on the lottery ticket, and then that privilege tax would go back to the county it was sold in and go towards transportation, which would be something that we talked about a while, putting money back to be able to help fix some roads. So we hope both of those pass. But that's what that resolution is, a sample resolution that we sent to Mike. Any comments?
No, you just need to get it recommended tonight.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mayor, you have anything else? Are you done? All right, is there any, old or new business that needs to come before the committee?
Motion to adjourn.
Y'all be safe going home.